speech of Prime Minister Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee on the occasion of release of a postage stamp in honor of Nani A. Palkhiwala. We have gathered here to honor Nani Palkhiwala, a great Indian and a towering man of ideas and ideals who left us slightly over a year ago. How do I describe Nani? It was a difficult undertaking even when he was alive, and it hasn't become easier now. Whichever way you describe him, it seems to leave out a part of his multifaceted personality that merits admiration on its own count. He was undoubtedly one of the greatest constitutional lawyers of his time, but he had few parallels even in civil law, corporate law, taxation law, and international law. It used to be said that he was the best law minister that India never had. But it is also used to be remarked that he was the best finance minister that India never had. For long years, the annual budget presentation in Parliament had a companion event in the form of Nani Palkhiwala's exposition on the budget, and it had gained much prestige and was as keenly looked forward to as the main event itself. But there was one significant difference between the two events. The finance minister invariably used to face a barrage of criticism, deserved or otherwise, for his budget from opposition members, including myself. But when Nani spoke to a packed house in Brabourne Stadium, he used to receive only bouquets of admiration, never brickbats of criticism. Nani, however, was not merely a giant intellectual. That in itself would not have made him a much admired public figure. Rather, it was his deep commitment to democracy and values of public life and his courage of conviction to stand up and be counted that made him a national icon. In the Keshav Nanda Bharti case, in early 70s, he mesmerized the nation by his brilliance of his argument in the Supreme Court and by the crucial victory he won for India's democracy. The landmark judgment in that case, while upholding the right of the Parliament to amend the Constitution, laid down once and for all that it was the basic structure which was beyond amendability by a brute majority. Nani again endeared himself to lovers of democracy all over the country by his courageous opposition to the emergency rule. In those dark days, the battle for democracy was fought by many people in different ways. Many of us in politics, under the leadership of Jai Prakash Narayan, fought it in prisons. But I have no doubt that one of the finest battles was fought in the courtrooms, and the fighter was Nani Palkhiwala. Within a few months of the imposition of emergency, the government of the day made a plea before the Supreme Court that its verdict in the Keshav Nanda Bharti case should be overruled. Once again, Palkhiwala's legal genius served as a shield to counter this grave attack on the Constitution. So powerful was his submissions that the Chief Justice simply dissolved the bench and put to the attempt to alter the basic structure of the Constitution. It was never done. Justice H.R. Khanna, who also had earned a hallowed name for himself in India's legal history by his courageous role in those trying years, wrote about Nani's performance in that episode. The height of eloquence to which Palkhiwala had risen during the hearing has seldom been equalled and has never been surpassed in the history of Supreme Court. Friends, my tribute to Nani would be incomplete without my expressing deepest appreciation for his performance as India's ambassador to the United States, when I was the Minister of External Affairs in Morarji Bhai Desai's government. The Prime Minister was very keen that we should have Nani as our envoy in Washington. Never one to take any political office or governmental assignment, he refused. The responsibility then fell on me to convince Nani to agree. I met him and explained to him that we needed a capable person to improve the strained ties between the two democracies of the world. I also argued that the nuclear treaty discussions between India and US were at a crucial stage and they needed to be handled by a legal expert of his caliber. He responded positively to my request out of a sense of service to the nation. History is witness to the fact that in spite of not being a career diplomat, Palkhiwala was one of the best India's great ambassadors. In a brief stint of 21 months in USA, he delivered more than 170 speeches, including those in over 50 universities. With his erudition and power of personality, he contributed immensely to raising India's prestige in the United States. As many of you in this hall would testify, Nani's oratory had both depth and beauty. He was as much at home with Shakespeare as with Shri Aurobindo. He was a universal man, was deeply rooted in the finest spiritual and cultural traditions of India. He was a passionate advocate of interfaith harmony. The major task before India today, he believed, is to acquire a keener sense of national identity, to gain the wisdom to cherish its priceless heritage, and to create a cohesive society with the cement of Indian culture. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my abiding regret that I could not meet him in his last years. I wanted to call him when I had come to Mumbai for my knee operation, but he was too ill to receive me. I am happy that I am here to associate myself with this function when the Department of Posts have chosen to perpetuate the life and spirit of Nani Palkhiwala through release of a commemorative postage stamp. Thank you.